presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
Our initial trek this year into the land of Dodger Blue. The D-backs in Los Angeles opening a 4-game set against the Dodgers, and a matchup of headliners on the mound tonight. It's Zack Greinke versus Clayton Kershaw, the first of 19 meetings this year. The D-backs and the Dodgers on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Dodger Stadium and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. What a pitching matchup we have in store for you here tonight. There's an extra air of anticipation in the ballpark, a matchup of starting pitchers between whom will make about $70 million this year. It's Zack Greinke and Clayton Kershaw.
Well, they're making all that glue because they're both really good pitchers. Clayton Kershaw, we know all about him. Zack Greinke coming off a strong outing his last time out. We know what happened last year here at Dodger Stadium. Zack got banged around pretty good, but as I mentioned in the pregame show, Zack Greinke doesn't carry baggage with him. He's already let that go. He's looking forward to tonight.
Put simply, what makes Clayton Kershaw so good?
Well, you could point to a lot of different things. He's got a 3-pitch arsenal that's just devastating. He can spot those pitches wherever he wants, whenever he wants. The thing about Kershaw is you have to beat him. He's not going to beat himself via the base on balls. Doesn't give up a lot of home runs, even though he did last time out. You really have to work hard to score against this guy.
Yeah, coming off a loss at Colorado against the Rockies when he gave up 3 home runs. This one should be a lot of fun. Greinke, Kershaw, D-backs, and Dodgers. First pitch coming up shortly on Fox Sports Arizona.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Gila River Casinos. Experience winning like you've never imagined at the Gila River Casinos, Lone Butte, Bequiva, and Wild Horse Pass. By Chaz Roberts, air conditioning and plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Oregano. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run. At Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint. Location statewide. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By Gigablast Internet from Cox. Welcome to the Gig Life. And by State Farm. State Farm is here to help life go right. Talk to an agent today or call 1-800-STATE-FARM.
From Los Angeles, beyond a doubt, the premier matchup on Major League Baseball's calendar today. Greinke Kershaw, first pitch next on Fox Sports Arizona. Got him. Well, Greinke gets the strikeout. It's a big one for Zach. 2-2. Struck him out. 9 strikeouts for Kershaw. A pitching matchup tonight that's been described as the most expensive in MLB history. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly, Jody Jackson, the first of 4 between the D-backs and the Dodgers in LA. 2 starting pitchers who will combine to make nearly $70 million alone. The first ever meeting between the former Dodger teammates Zach Greinke and Clayton Kershaw.
You know, partner, it's an old cliche that these two guys would enjoy matching up against each other in a parking lot for nothing. But they're obviously both making a heck of a lot more than nothing tonight.
Let's take a look at the numbers on your Ram truck. Starting pitcher for LA. It is, of course, Clayton Kershaw, his 3rd start this year. He was typical Kershaw opening day against the Padres. 7 innings, only 2 hits allowed. But in his previous start last Saturday at Coors Field, he gave up 3 home runs in 6 innings and was beaten by the Rockies.
Including back-to-back home runs, the first time Clayton Kershaw had done that in 1,773 career innings. Greg Maddux, the only guy that has a longer streak without giving up back-to-back home runs.
So Torey Lovullo's ball club has its work cut out for them tonight. The lineup for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
A.J. Pollock will be leading it off out in center field in front of the Death Star. Chris Owings moves over to right field tonight with a lefty on the mound for the Dodgers. Paul Goldschmidt at first. Yasmani Tomas in left field. Brandon Drury at second base. Daniel Descalso filling in for Jake Lamb at third tonight. Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Jeff Mathis doing the catching for right-hander Zach Greinke.
Our eye on defense for the Dodgers, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
It'll be Tolles, Peterson, and Puig left to right across the outfield. Turner and Seager on the left side of the infield with the newest Dodger, Logan Forsythe, and Adrian Gonzalez on the right side. Yasmani Grandal doing the catching for left-hander Clayton Kershaw.
Doug Eddings is our plate umpire tonight. He'll have the balls and strikes. Corey Blazer at first base, the crew chief Jeff Nelson at second, and Laz Diaz is at third. D-backs 7-12 versus LA last year. They won just twice in 9 games here at Dodger Stadium. And looking to reverse that trend as A.J. Pollock leads it off. A.J. 238 with a home run. He tripled to lead off Wednesday's game at San Francisco. Diamondbacks were off yesterday.
Well, offensively, not a lot of numbers to brag about for the Diamondbacks against Clayton Kershaw, with the exception of A.J. Pollock, a .292 career hitter. Drawn a couple of walks against the Dodger left-hander.
Well, he's ahead 2 balls and a strike. Here are the career numbers for A.J. A little cool here tonight. Squib shot to Justin Turner at third. 1 away.
Right fielder number 16, Chris Owings.
Only one left-hand bat in Torey Lovullo's lineup tonight, and that's Daniel Descalso, who's playing third base. Chris Owings getting the start in right field. No Jake Lamb, no David Peralta against the left-hander Kershaw. CO 324 with a home run. Chris hit safely in all 3 games against the Giants to begin this road trip. And he starts tonight with a 5-game hitting streak. Knocks this one out toward Yasiel Puig in right field. 2 down. Time now, Bob, for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, we know that the Dodgers have dominated the Diamondbacks in recent memory. They've won 40 of the last 57 games between these 2 teams. So let's get comfortable here against the Dodgers. 19 games against the boys from LA this season, and might as well start tonight.
Yeah, as you mentioned, since the start of the 2014 season, D-backs only 17-40 against LA. Goldie 270 with 2 homers. Paul 1 hit in 11 at-bats against the Giants in San Francisco. And he's now gone 5 games without an RBI. But given those weather conditions, especially the last 2 days against the Giants, there weren't a whole lot of run scoring opportunities for either side. But here we are in Chavez Ravine. A little breezy out there and cool, as we mentioned, but a nice night. 1-2. It is your typically fashionably late Dodger crowd. A lot of yellow seats out there, especially in the lower section.
Show up in the 4th, leave in the 7th.
63 degrees at first pitch. Goalie hits one high in the air, left center field. Toll's drifting over there. Peterson's there as well, and he'll take it. Clayton Kershaw works a 1-2-3 first. Zach Greinke coming up. Right-hander Zach Greinke, unbeaten in 2 starts, an ERA of 2.31. Zach was terrific in his win over Cleveland last Saturday at Chase Field. 6 2/3 against the Indians, 6 strikeouts, and generated 11 ground balls.
And didn't walk a batter in that ball game against that loaded Cleveland Indians lineup. Zach actually made pretty easy work of it against the Tribe his last time out.
Andrew Toles, the left fielder, will lead it off for LA. Toles 240 and 2 home runs. He homered Wednesday at Wrigley Field, a leadoff home run off the Cubs' John Lackey, the 3rd pitch of the ball game. So watch out. Fastball misses up, and it's 1-1 on Toles. Andre Ethier out with a herniated disc. So Toles, one of the few left-hand options in the outfield for Dave Roberts. Just missed with that one. It's 2-1. We've noticed with Zach Greinke, usually takes him an inning or 2 to figure out what's working that night and what may not be. And so as a result, the pitch count can get a little elevated for Zach the first couple of innings.
Yeah, but we know he also likes to pitch to contact, and once he determines what is working on a given night, what's not working, how can he attack this Dodger lineup, usually the 3rd, 4th inning on, he finds that rhythm, finds what's working as he strikes out Toles to start the ball game. And then he cruises after that.
Your lineup for Dave Roberts. LA Dodgers coming in 5-5 on the years. Corey Seager steps up.
Andrew Toles goes down on strikes to start it for the Dodgers. He'll be out in left field. Corey Seager at the plate. He'll be at shortstop. Justin Turner, the 3rd baseman. Adrian Gonzalez over at first. Logan Forsythe at second base. Yasmani Grandal doing the catching with Jock Peterson in center. Yasiel Puig in right. And Clayton Kershaw on the mound.
Fastball missed away to Seager. It's 1-0. The shortstop hitting 282 with a pair of home runs. He's hit safely in 4 straight games. Last year's National League Rookie of the Year. Zach behind 2-0. Seager had good luck against Greinke last season. 5 hits and 8 at bats. 2 of those hits were home runs. And so Greinke being careful, he's down 3-0. Justin Turner on deck.
And as much as Zach pays attention during the ball game, even when he's not pitching, you know he knows these Dodgers and their strengths and weaknesses from watching from the other dugout.
Seager unable to check his swing, and it's 3-1.
They know him very well too, but if you know Zach Greinke and you've watched Zach Greinke, you know that he's not always the same pitcher out there on the mound every time. As you mentioned, he kind of searches for what's working on a given night. He might end up being an off-speed pitcher tonight, throwing a lot of breaking balls and changeups. He may end up being a fastball pitcher if he's got good hop on his heater. Walk right there to Corey Seager, puts a runner on base with 1 out in the first.
And we look at the Diamondbacks defensively, sponsored by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Yasmani Tomas in left field tonight with A.J. Pollock in center and Chris Owings patrolling out in right field. Daniel Descalso at third base, Nick Ahmed at shortstop, Brandon Drury at second, Paul Goldschmidt at first, Jeff Mathis doing the catching tonight for right-hander Zach Greinke.
The dangerous Turner now, off to a .355 start. Has not homered yet, but he does have 5 doubles in 9 games. Picks on the first pitch and hits it deep to center field. A.J. Pollock on the warning track. And it's allowed out number 2.
First baseman number 23.
I got the fans up on the edge of their seats here. First pitch fastball to Justin Turner, who's steadily hunting fastballs all night long. Put a good swing on it, but got out there to center field like a lot of fly balls do here at Dodger Stadium and just kind of died on the track.
And no wind to speak of down on the field. Anyway, the flags are fairly quiet in dead center. Adrian Gonzalez, 276. Los Angeles just came back from a 2-4 road trip. The Dodgers able to win just once in 3 games, both at Colorado and Chicago. Dave Roberts ball club coming off a 3-game set at Wrigley Field, during which they scored a total of only 4 runs. So the offense has been quiet as of late. But it was cold and damp in Chicago for most of that series. Wind blowing in off Lake Michigan. Greinke fell behind on Seager, and now it's a 2-0 count on Gonzalez. Tap foul.
Now, one thing you know, when you face this Dodger team, you don't have to worry too much about the stolen base. Andrew Tolles at the top of the order, a guy that has base stealing speed. Other than that, they'll pick their spots, but not much of a running team. They play more of an American League style of game, go station to station, and hope somebody hits one out of the ballpark.
Yeah, you got guys like Seager and Turner and Gonzalez and Peterson. You're swinging for the fences with that group. Gonzalez hits one deep right field. Chris Owings near the wall, and Co reaches up and he's got it. 2 long fly balls off some Dodger bats, but Zach Greinke able to keep it scoreless. Turner took him deep to center, and Gonzalez deep to right. A deep breath. 0-0 in LA. Getting to know ARP. AARP, look at this. The best in the business against left-hand pitchers since the All-Star break last year. Yasmani Tomas, who leads off the second.
Yeah, he's facing a lefty tonight. We were kind of joking around. Clayton Kershaw has not walked a batter yet this year. Maybe Yasmani Tomas will crack that column.
Well, Yasmani walked twice Wednesday in San Francisco. That snapped a 5-game hitting streak for him. But off to a very good start, 323 with a home run. And Kershaw behind after a 10-pitch first inning. Yasmani had at least one extra base hit in all 5 of those games before that hitting streak was snapped against the Giants Wednesday. Hitless in his first 2 games this year, but since then 10 for 23 at the plate with 6 extra base hits. He's been swinging the bat well lately. Gets ahead in the count, 2-1. Kershaw whiffed on the throwback.
You don't want to overextend yourself out there.
Doug Eddings behind the plate.
I think the home plate umpire needs to go to the bullpen and warm up a little bit. Yes, look at that cutter. Yeah, that's some nice cutting action.
If you're not going to throw it right to me, I'm not going to catch it. 2-2.
This time Eddings runs it out there in front of home plate before throwing. Get a little crow hop going, Doug.
Doug Eddings will have an occasionally erratic strike zone and a bit of a short fuse back there. So we'll keep an eye on that tonight.
That's a great combination.
Isn't it, though? 2 pitchers tonight were certainly around the edges of the strike zone, to say the least. Tomas drives one to center. Peterson is out there. 4 up, 4 down for Kershaw.
Second baseman number 27, Brandon Drury.
Brings up Brandon Drury. Brandon 344. He's knocked in 6. But coming off a relatively quiet 3 games in San Francisco, 1 for 11 against the Giants. Brandon's first big league home run came in this ballpark, September of 2015 at Dodger Stadium. Off reliever Adam Libator. Figured that might get him going.
If he only heard you. Say it louder.
You can hear me right now. This crowd's awful quiet. Still filing in. Two and 1.
Kershaw will throw more fastballs first time through an opposing batting order. He also throws the curve, occasional changeup, and a slider, but successive times through the lineup, you'll see more breaking pitches.
Hard fastball that time, and Brandon fouls it off. It's 2-2. After hitting his first ever home run in this ballpark, not too long ago after that, Brandon had a home run here against Clayton Kershaw. Wearing number 62 back in the day. It's a September call-up.
Well, he finally determined that that bat is cracked. He was pounding it on the ground, listening to the vibrations that the bat made, and determined that that one's not good enough to carry on in this at bat. Goes back and gets a new weapon.
Speaking of home runs, we mentioned Kershaw in that loss at Colorado last weekend. He gave up back-to-back home runs for the first time in his career. Mark Reynolds and Gerardo Parra got him. Also just the 3rd time ever he'd given up multiple home runs in the same inning. But that was at Coors Field, so who knows. I'm sorry, Bob. The interesting thing was the 3 homers came on 3 different pitches. Arenado hit a curveball, Reynolds a slider, and Parra belted a fastball. Daniel Descalso, the only left-hand bat in there tonight, is on deck and in the start at third base. Tapped to shortstop for Seager.
baseman number 3, Daniel Descalso.
Mentioned it before. 1,772 innings for Clayton Kershaw before giving up back-to-back homers. Greg Maddux went 2,806 innings before he gave up back-to-back homers.
Kershaw afterwards said his stuff was fine, just had some bad pitches, made too many mistakes. So he's human after all.
What?
Yeah, a little bit. Descalso 3 for 12 with 3 RBIs to start the year. Backs up Andrew Toles in left field, just shy of the warning track. That's 4 fly ball outs against Clayton Kershaw. No score from Dodger Stadium.
Torey Lovello, growing up here in Southern California, actually stayed in his home last night, 30 miles away from here, and battled LA traffic to get here. But has some great memories, though, here at Dodger Stadium. He said as a kid, his family had season tickets right here in the seats, kind of up above where the Diamondbacks dugout is. 2 things he wanted to do as a kid: learn how to whistle without using his hands, and he did that. And then one time he caught a Mickey Hatcher foul ball. He was about 11 years old. He said he thought it was the greatest thing ever. So he had some great memories, and it means a lot for him to be here with family and friends watching all weekend long.
Yeah, Torey's an LA native. His dad, of course, was in the television business here in LA. Logan Forsythe leads off the second. Torey was telling us before the game today, big Dodger fan as a kid. He always wanted to see what it was like underneath the stands and in the clubhouse. And he said, you know, it's funny now. And he was sitting there in his office and said, look, this is, now I'm here in the office in what he considers sacred ground.
Well, that's one way to look at it. I didn't feel quite the same way. But
you've always used those words to describe this ballpark, haven't you?
Yeah, once you see the bowels of any major league stadium, the edge is kind of off a little bit.
Don't look behind the curtain.
No, no, no.
Forsythe, the new second baseman here at Dodger Stadium. Boy, you ever stand in that row up there? It is a mile in the air. You are way up there.
Surprised they didn't put the press box up there.
Or one of the cameras. Here's the 1-2. Forsythe brought over from Tampa Bay near the end of January, ending the Dodgers' winter-long search for a second baseman. He also wanted to get more right-handed. LA really struggled last year against left-hand pitching. As Manny Grandal, the catcher, on deck. Diamondbacks will have 2 left-handers in this series, Patrick Corbin and Robbie Ray, so that's a good matchup for the D-backs. And Forsythe is a guy who'll battle you. He works the count, gets his walks, rarely chases pitches outside the strike zone. 2-2 pitch. Jeff Mathis able to hang on. Second strikeout for Greinke.
Catcher number 9,
Nothing tricky there, just a fastball away. It actually strays back over the middle of the plate, but has enough giddy up arm to throw it right by Logan Forsythe in this situation.
Yeah, that one leaked back a little dangerously toward the right-hand hitter. Now Yasmani Grandal, the catcher. Switch hitter, 185 to start the year. He's got 2 homers. Both of Grandal's 2 home runs and all his RBIs this year came on opening day here against the Padres. And since then, he's just 3 for 22. But this guy has real power, especially from the left-hand side. Last season, a career high 27 home runs, more than any other catcher in baseball. Just dropped that breaking ball in there for strike 2.
27 homers last year for Grandal. That ranks 5th on the all-time list for Dodger catchers. Mike Piazza has the first 4.
I bet. Hall of Famer. 23 of those 27 homers coming from the left-hand side. Ooh, fastball miss, says Doug Eddings. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, that's a good spot to miss if indeed he did miss. We'll get a look at it here, just below the zone. Pretty good chance Grandal puts that ball in play on the ground if he does swing at it.
Saw Torrey's reaction in the dugout. All right. Nick Ahmed off the glove. Nick has time to recover, struggles to pick it up, and Grandal beats it out. If he had been able to pick it up that first time, he may have gotten him. Second base runner for LA. A base hit.
Center fielder number 31, Chuck Peterson.
An awkward looking swing might have fooled Nick a little bit there. I agree with you. If he picks it up on the first try, they get Grandal at first base, but when he fanned on it the first time, had no chance to get it.
It was a ground ball hit right to Nick, but they scored a base hit for Grandal. He's aboard with 1 out for Jock Peterson. D-backs will put the shift on. There's a strike, and it's 0-1. Another fastball from Greinke. Peterson 250 with a home run. That home run back on opening day here against the Padres. Descalso, the third baseman, all by himself on the left-hand side. Drury, the second baseman, near the right field line. Check swing. Foul ball.
Boy, there's some socks for you right there.
And some
wow.
kicks.
Man.
Are those? Yeah. Those are fake stirrups.
Old fake stirrups with different stripes at the top and the bottom. That's quite a look.
It's a look, that's for sure.
That's a look.
Yeah.
If you told him he had to wear those socks, he'd probably fight you.
Well, Peterson, whatever socks he's wearing, he was a problem for the D-backs last year. He hit better than .350 against the Diamondbacks last season. 7 home runs in 14 games. They give him everything down the left field line. Big swing at that one. He popped it straight up, but it's leaking out of play.
Well, Peterson has one thing on his mind when he gets into that batter's box. Get something I can lift in the air to right field, and he constantly looks to do that regardless of the count. Some hitters you jump ahead in the count 0-2, 1-2. You can get them to chase bad pitches. They're a little more defensive. Not Jock Peterson. He's looking to go yard every swing.
Already more than 50 career home runs by the age of 24. Yasiel Puig batting 8th tonight in the on-deck circle. Boy, Descalso, the third baseman, playing almost where the shortstop would normally be. Way off that left field line. He's nowhere near third base.
If Jock Peterson hits a ball that direction, something strange has happened.
Well, if he does, it's at least a double.
He's either cued a changeup right off the end of the bat or gotten jammed with a fastball and just fought it off to the left side. He has no intention of trying to go the other way other than by accident.
They've almost literally left half the infield undefended.
And he was a guy last year from time to time would act like he was going to bunt for a base hit, but he never really gave it a shot. You can see his hits by direction early on this year.
That matches up right with the chart. Torlavella says they want to fill those flood lanes, and that's what they're doing here against Peterson. Fouled off, and it's still 2-2. Base hit. That's headed for the right field corner. Owings won't be able to cut it off. Grandal digs for third, and they'll stop him there. First double of the year for Jock Peterson. Dodgers have second and third, one out for Puig.
I think it might have been a slider, maybe a cutter. No, it is a slider. Working its way down. Jeff Mathis was getting ready to pick that ball right off the dirt, and instead Jock Peterson intercepts it and pulls it down into that right field corner for a double.
So here's Puig. It's been a productive start to the season for him. He's hitting .265, has 3 home runs. And he's shown some patience at the plate. He's already walked 7 times in 10 games this year. So much for the patience. 0-1.
And you think about perhaps walking the number 8 hitter with 1 out in the inning to get the pitcher up at the plate. But Clayton Kershaw's 2 for 4 this year with a walk already. He's dangerous with the bat. Nice block by Jeff Mathis. That's a good pitch to Yasiel Puig right there. Ahead in the count. See if you can get him to chase something. Historically, he has been a very aggressive hitter, even though, as you said, he's being more patient in the early going this year. But that slider in the dirt used to be his kryptonite.
Yeah, this year he's most often aggressive when he's ahead in the count. Trying to do some damage. He's off a fastball, and it's 2-1. Puig homered in back-to-back games in the Dodgers opening series here against San Diego. But after that, he was 4 for 22 on their road trip through Colorado and Chicago. So he's been a little quiet lately. No, he didn't, Corey Blazer. 3 balls and a strike on Puig. Now that you're down 3-1, do you want to wave him to first?
I still think you pitch to him and hope to get him to chase something. I definitely wouldn't throw him a hittable strike if you can paint the outside corner, if you can rush him in on the hands, maybe try to lead him out of the zone with a breaking ball. But you don't have to throw him a strike here.
Jeff Mathis running through a sequence of signs there for Zach Greinke. Out of play.
Elevated fastball right there. Got the foul tip he was looking for. Foul ball he was looking for. Running the count full.
Puig has been doing most of his damage against breaking pitches this year. And that's where Zach excels. Grandal at third, Peterson at second, and 1 out. Full count on Yasiel Puig. The pitcher Kershaw on deck. And again, they're going to run through the signs. Ball 4, the bases are loaded. Second walk issued by Zach Greinke.
I think the Diamondbacks are actually going to talk about changing the signs here. Jock Peterson's had an opportunity to stand out there at second base and see every sign Jeff Mathis has given. You're never really sure if the guy is actively trying to steal your signs and relay them to the hitter, but if a guy's been out there long enough and has seen all your pitches and has seen all the signs, it might be time to mix them up.
And they will literally have a team meeting out there. Doug Eddings out to break this up. You'll recall Zach's previous Dodger Stadium start was one of the worst of his career. It was September 5th. And he allowed 8 runs in less than 5 innings. What was so remarkable about that game, the Dodgers hit 5 home runs against Greinke, 4 of them coming in 1 inning. Peterson, Seager, Turner, Grandal all homered off Greinke in the 5th inning of that ball game. Grandal, the catcher's at third, Peterson at second, and Puig at first. 1 out, and Kershaw the hitter. Zach now at 40 pitches, 22 strikes. Strike 1.
We talked a lot about the friendly relationship between these two guys when they were teammates. You'd be surprised how quickly that goes out the window when you get in competition. Yeah, I'll take you to breakfast tomorrow, but tonight I'm going to do everything I can to try to beat your brains in.
You know, it's kind of funny talking about facing one another as hitters. Greinke said he was really looking forward to it. Wanted to see how nasty Kershaw really is. Clayton said he really was not looking forward to it. He has a hard time blocking out those types of relationships. And said he will try and think of Greinke in these spots as just another guy. But they were pretty close in Zach's 3 years in LA.
Zach Greinke may be the only player in Major League Baseball that looked forward to facing Clayton Kershaw.
I think you're right. Zach walks to his own drummer, that's for sure. Double play ball here. Ahmed, Drury for 1. And they roll a big double play. Zach Greinke leaves them loaded and keeps it scoreless in Los Angeles.
The best in the game. Clayton Kershaw is the best.
His stuff speaks for itself. His track record speaks for itself.
His focus level is about as good as you get.
It's a battle. You know, everything he has is so nasty. You can't miss your pitch.
It's definitely a matchup. You know, you got to bring your A game facing him because you know he's bringing his.
Well, the Diamondbacks on Clayton Kershaw, who has retired all 6 he's faced so far, but he's got 4 fly ball outs, 2 ground outs, and it's been, well, about 4 years since he went through 2 whole innings without striking somebody out.
Is that a slump?
For him it is, yeah. Gotta bring your A game.
You know, the thing about facing Kershaw and the likes of Clayton Kershaw, guys who are at the top of their game, you really have to take advantage of every base runner and every possible mistake by the Dodgers defense.
85 regular season starts since he went 2 complete innings without a strikeout. But 6 outs are 6 outs, and the Diamondbacks looking for their first base runner. We'll have Nick Ahmed, Jeff Mathis, and Zach Greinke due up 7-8-9 as we start the third from Dodger Stadium, first of 4. The D-backs and the Dodgers. Nick 3 for 10 to start the year. Ahmed at shortstop tonight. Chris Owings in right field. No Jake Lamb, no David Peralta in the starting lineup against the lefty Kershaw. Well, he's apparently been told he doesn't have a strikeout yet. He's ahead of Nick 0-2.
That last curveball was like it dropped from the heavens. It's a true old-fashioned drop ball. Has that 12-6 break straight down to the ground.
And then dots a fastball right at the knees, and there's your strikeout.
Probably shouldn't have put that stat up on the screen.
Yeah, that's your bad.
Well,
wait, what?
I didn't even read it.
Fair point. Fair point. Or increasingly, our staff is getting too reliable. That's the problem. You should see the looks I'm getting up here. Jeff Mathis. Jeff started 2 of the 3 games in San Francisco to open up this road trip. 238 on the year. He hits it hard to Tolles in left field. And Kershaw set down the first 8. Well, this is the matchup that Zach Greinke says he's been waiting for. Really looking forward to getting in there and seeing, okay, I've heard a lot about you. We'll see how nasty you really are. And a lot of boos for the former Dodger Greinke.
Just the slightest of Mona Lisa grins there from Zach Greinke as he made his way to the plate. That's about as much emotion as you'll see from Zach.
Exactly right. That's a look at a fastball at 94. Greinke goes, wow, are those pitches that good?
He might want to rethink his willingness to face Clayton Kershaw.
30 pitches, 22 strikes.
About time for Uncle Charlie just to show Zach Greinke everything that Clayton Kershaw has out there on the mound. He's shown him a slider. He's shown him a fastball. I think this is another slider.
Well, Kershaw, as you mentioned, Bob, does not walk batters. Last year he struck out 172 batters and walked 11.
Yeah.
11 walks. He has not walked a batter yet this season. 2-2 on Zach Greinke. There it is. Well, he went 2 innings without a strikeout, so he gets 2 strikeouts in that inning. Bottom 3 coming up, no score.
time he no score through the first 2.5 innings. Time to take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. The Charleston Charlies and the Toledo Mud Hens hooked up at Watt Powell Park in Charleston, and Randy Bush hit a home run that traveled over 200 miles.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, there's a little backstory. There's a train track that runs behind the right field fence at Watt Powell Park in Charleston. Randy Bush, not known as a home run hitter, hit one over the right field fence that landed on a coal car on a train. And the train didn't stop for 200 miles, so they unofficially credited Randy Bush with a 200-mile home run.
So he was the original freight train.
Yeah, there you go.
Not David Peralta. Here's Tolles, who struck out to lead off the ball game for the Dodgers.
Randy Bush now works in the front office with the world champion Chicago Cubs as the assistant to Theo Epstein.
You see those rings?
Ooh, man.
Those things are the size of those disco balls that used to hang down back in the 70s. Dodgers were there, in fact, at Wrigley Field to watch those get handed out.
Hey, if you have to wait 108 years.
They put 108 diamonds on that thing.
Go crazy.
Yeah, they did. One and two on Andrew Tolles. That one rolls away from Mathis. And they complete the strikeout. The third strikeout for Greinke, one down.
If I could break a ball in the dirt that time. Hard slider, really pulled that one down and in. Tolles chases a pitch that bounced out in front of home plate. Mathis blocks and throws on to first to complete the out.
Corey Seager walked his first time up. Greinke most of that at bat against Seager, working down and away against the Dodgers shortstop. Seager had to be nursed along this spring. He sat out most of March with a strained oblique muscle on his right side and didn't play any Cactus League games for about 3 weeks. And once he was finally cleared to swing, he spent a lot of time getting at bats in minor league camp games, trying to work the rust off and get his mechanics ironed out. He had a heck of a season last year. He was an all-star, won a Silver Slugger, National League Rookie of the Year, third in the MVP voting. There's a strike and it's 1-2.
And his mental approach to the game is very similar to Brandon Drury. He's a very intense young man, and the hard work has never scared him a little bit. Even when he was a young player in Major League camp for the first time, he'd show up early in the morning to take extra cuts in the batting cage to make sure he was out of the way of any of the veteran players that may show up later looking to get some extra hitting.
Got some advice from his older brother Kyle, the Seattle Mariners third baseman. Seager last year broke the Dodgers rookie hits record previously held by Steve Sachs, 193 hits as a rookie. Second in the National League behind only the Diamondbacks' Gene Segura. Knocks that one to get away in front of the Osmani Tomas. Seager aboard for the second time tonight, a one-out single.
And we mentioned earlier, Jock Peterson is not willing to go to left field voluntarily. Not the case with Corey Seager. Especially when the pitcher's ahead of him in the count, he kind of looks out over the plate. He figures he can fight off anything inside, but if you happen to throw it away, he's willing to drive that ball to the opposite field. That's how you get 193 hits in a season.
Yep. Well put. Turner flying out deep to center, swung at the first pitch against Greinke, his first time up. Takes a cut at the first one again versus Zach and fouls it off. Turner has been slowed this week by a nagging quad problem in his right leg. He described it as sort of like a Charlie horse, something that earlier this week was growing tighter and tighter throughout the game. It's been really more of a bruise than a muscle strain, suffered diving for a ground ball Monday against the Cubs. Greinke ahead 0-2.
Yeah, Justin Turner's a guy that's been known to grunt a time or two as he swings that bat in a right-handed batter's box, and we know Zach Greinke likes to grunt when he delivers. This is starting to sound like a ladies' tennis match.
Yeah. In the hole, right between Descalso and Ahmed. Back-to-back one-out singles for LA.
It's a smothered ground ball that happens to find that hole on the left side of the infield. Sneaks through for a base hit. Setting it up to the middle of this Dodgers order.
Well, Greinke in the bottom of the second had bases loaded. One out, got the pitcher Kershaw to hit into an inning-ending double play. And now he'll face Adrian Gonzalez with Seager at second, Turner at first, and one out. Gonzalez flied out his first time up. Greinke coming off a 29-pitch second inning, and now really has to work again hard in the third. Behind on Gonzalez, 2-0.
So far in this ball game, Zach Greinke surrendered 4 Dodger base hits, 1 on each of his pitches. Turner hit a fastball, Seager hit a changeup, Peterson hit a slider, and Grandal hit a curveball.
What do you make of that?
Nothing.
Just random?
Just random as far as I'm concerned, yeah.
Base hit. Right center field. Seager will score. Turner heads for third, and it's 1-0 Los Angeles. Three straight one-out singles.
Adrian Gonzalez has been a tremendous run producer throughout his career. He's a guy that doesn't necessarily look to hit the ball out of the ballpark with runners in scoring position. Just take what the pitcher gives you. Got a pitch on the outside corner and lined it into center field for an RBI base hit.
Robbie Hammock in the D-back dugout. Logan Forsythe, the second baseman, struck out his first time up.
Boy, Logan Forsythe struck out leading off that second inning, giving him 14 punch-outs in 36 at-bats this year.
Very uncharacteristic for him.
Yeah, learning a new league, some new pitchers, new environment.
He's a guy that has really always, as Dave Roberts said, controlled the strike zone as a hitter. Last year, a career-high 20 home runs in Tampa Bay. He's got some power. And Greinke, just like Gonzalez, behind on Forsythe now, 2-0.
Yeah, Logan Forsythe's been a good player for a while now, but I think Diamondbacks fans, and I know you and I are glad not to see Howie Kendrick at second base for the Dodgers anymore. Man, did he kill us.
Second base has been a problem in LA for a while now. They've gone through 7 regular second basemen the last 8 years. Drop that breaking ball in there for a strike, and it's 2-1.
Second base for the Dodgers has been like left field for the Giants, just looking for somebody to take that job and run with it.
Well, you know, they had so many problems with left-hand pitching last year. They didn't want to bring Chase Utley back after Utley had a pretty good season last year. He's back as a reserve player now, and went and acquired Forsythe as the answer, a right-hand hitter. And he's got a base knock. He rolls it into left center field. Turner can jog home. Gonzalez takes the turn, heads for third, and it's 2-0. 4 consecutive one-out singles against Greinke.
Another very controlled swing with runners in scoring position. That's the Zach Greinke changeup. Just went down and got it that time. Got the barrel on it toward the gap in left center field. Even the slow-footed Adrian Gonzalez is able to go first to third on that one.
Just the second RBI this year for Logan Forsythe. Still only one out. Here's Yasmani Grandal, the catcher, who singled his first time up. Zach generated 11 ground balls Saturday against the Indians at Chase Field. He could really use another one right here. Strike, and it's 0-1. Fishes for that one. Zach ahead, no balls and 2 strikes.
That's a great pitch. A changeup down and in, out of the zone. Grandal is a real good low fastball hitter from the middle of the plate in. He recognized fastball that time, but when he swung at it, the pitch was gone. Watch a downward movement on this changeup. Bottom just falls out.
You could use a few more of those pitches to make these LA hitters a little more uncomfortable up there. Beach ball out on the field. Gonzalez at third, Forsythe at first, still just 1 out. No, we did not go, says Laz Diaz, and it's 1-2. Well, Zach Greinke pitched into the 7th inning in his last start against Cleveland, 106 pitches. I don't know if he's going to get that deep tonight with his pitch count at 66. He feels like most seasons he doesn't get as deep into games early in the year, and then he'll get a little bit better at that as the season goes on. So it was nice to do that Saturday. Grandal waves at 1, 2nd out of this 3rd inning, and the 4th strikeout for Greinke.
That's the same changeup that he swung at earlier in the sequence. This time he scoots it over on the outside corner, gets some movement not only down but away from the left-handed hitter for strike 3.
That really is his money pitch, isn't it?
Oh,
the changeup?
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, on a given night, his slider can be really good, his fastball command can be exceptional, but it seems like every time he goes out there, that changeup has been pretty good for him.
Peterson doubled to right field in his first at bat. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, out of the outfield. Brandon Drury behind second base umpire Jeff Nelson. Daniel Descalso all alone on the left-hand side. Big cut at that one from Peterson. Peterson has now reached base safely in all 10 games he's played this year. All right, then.
Yeah, he did try to bunt. We were talking about it earlier. Last year, there were several times where he would show bunt. He'd kind of square around, then take the pitch just to see if he could get the defense to swing back around to the left side a little bit, and then he would try to pull the ball to the right side. That time, he actually tried to bunt for a base hit.
Well, with Gonzalez at third, Descalso a little closer to the bag than he was the first time Peterson was up there. Sky high, popped him up behind second base. Who wants it? Nick Ahmed calling for it, and he's got it. But the Dodgers get 4 consecutive 1-out singles. They take a 2-0 lead.
To the top half of the fourth inning. It'll be the top of the order for the Diamondbacks. Hey, fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Zach Greinke, Jeff Mathis, pitching coach Mike Butchell looking for answers in the D-backs dugout. How's this for a contrast? Through the first 3 innings tonight, Zach Greinke has thrown 70 pitches. Clayton Kershaw has thrown 33.
Yee.
Less than half. 9 up, 9 down so far for the Diamondbacks, and A.J. Pollock leads off the fourth. Kershaw, a 10-pitch first, a 13-pitch second, and a 10-pitch third. In the air, right field for Yasiel Puig. And Kershaw has retired the first 10 D-backs he's faced.
Number 16.
Not only does Kershaw rarely walk an opposing batter, he rarely falls behind in counts. That strike one is so important for any pitcher.
Chris Owings, the right fielder tonight. Strike one. You said it. Look out. That one almost got Kershaw as Owings belts it into center. D-backs first base runner, a 1-out single in the fourth.
Number 44.
Wow, that was close.
That was almost a disaster for Los Angeles.
That one was sent right back where it came from. Fastball, tried to run it inside to Chris Owings. He's quick enough to barrel up a knuckleball that goes between the glove and the hat of Clayton Kershaw as he's out there trying to defend himself.
99 miles an hour off the bat, coming right back at him. So Chris is now hit safely in 6 consecutive games. A 1-out base runner for Goldie. First pitch swinging, hops it up foul. Goldie has been doing most of his damage this year against fastball, so we'll see maybe just how often Kershaw sticks with his breaking and off-speed stuff against Paul. In fact, Kershaw this season actually has one of the lowest fastball percentages in the major leagues. He'll throw that fastball less than half the time.
Should be fastball away right here. A little too far away that time. And it's tough to run on Kershaw. I mean, the good pitchers do everything well out there on the mound, and Kershaw is certainly a good pitcher. Has a slide step to home plate that gets the ball to his catcher very quickly. Tough to get a jump as a base runner. He'll pick from a high leg kick. He'll pick from the slide step. Just tough to get a jump.
D-backs faced Kershaw just once last year, June 15th at Chase Field. He worked into the 8th inning, gave up just 2 runs and had 11 strikeouts. Behind on Goldie 2-1. But Kershaw made only 2 starts after that. Sat out all of July and August last year with a back problem, that herniated disc. .40 pitches, 28 strikes. Yasmani Tomas in the cleanup spot tonight, the on-deck hitter. .3-1 to Goldie.
There's a slide step pickoff attempt on Chris Owings over there at first.
CO 4 for 4 in his stolen base attempts this year.
One slider on the way.
Grandal sets up down and in, and Goldie chases. It's a hard slider coming at you at 90.
Greinke throws a hard slider, or rather, Kershaw throws the hard slider. Greinke throws the hard changeup.
That slider isn't a pitch that Kershaw even threw his first few years in the big leagues. He was much more reliant on that big curveball early in his career. But now that slider is taken over.
Backdoor slider this time. See if Grandal slides out on that outside corner just a little bit.
Owings takes off. Pitch gets behind Grandal, and it's ball 4.
First walk of the season for Clayton Kershaw.
Number 24, Yasmani Tomas.
Well, we showed you the numbers earlier on Yasmani Tomas, baseball's best hitter against left-hand pitching since the All-Star break last year. So a chance to get some of those runs back right here. 2 on and 1 out. Owings at second and Goldie at first. Yasmani flying out to center his first time up.
Yeah, that CO line drive right at Clayton Kershaw's face out there on the mound. May have shaken him up a little bit. You wouldn't think so. This is a guy that keeps his cool under just about any circumstance, but first walk of the season after getting his head nearly taken off with a line drive.
Throws strike 1 to El Tanque. Yasmani last season just crushed lefties. Hit .364 versus lefties last year. Pulls that one hard foul, and it's quickly 0-2. Diamondbacks trying to change their luck in LA. They won just twice in 9 games here last year. 7-12 against the Dodgers in the season series overall.
Can't get on the same page with his catcher right here. He's got a definite idea of what he wants to throw Tomas on this 0-2 pitch, and Grandal didn't hang the right finger, so they call timeout and verbally talk it over.
There really is no stereotypical Clayton Kershaw start, is there? Some guys, all their starts have sort of the same personality to them. Kershaw, sometimes you'll get the 11 strikeout games, the 15 strikeout games. He's only punched out 2 tonight. Boy, he hopped that one halfway to the plate, and everybody moves up. That was a major league wild pitch.
Yeah, there ought to be a special category for this. That one hit so far out in front of home plate, it took a big bounce and went right over Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. Look at that. He can't even get up, knock it down with his shoulder that time.
That was like a cricket bowler right there. And you can see Kershaw react, very upset with himself. Maybe you're right, Bob. Maybe it was that Owens line drive coming right back at him at 99. And of course, no A.J. Ellis anymore for the Dodgers. He was Kershaw's personal catcher for a long time here. So it's second and third, a 1-2 count on Tomas. And he looks at strike 3. Fastball away, his third strikeout, 2 down.
27, Brandon Drury.
The last thing in the world you need when you're facing Clayton Kershaw is an umpire that'll give him that pitch. Ouch.
Doug Eddings will occasionally get erratic back there. But Kershaw will generally get most of those calls from just about every umpire. So it's up to Brandon Drury now. A single can tie the ball game with 2 outs. Brandon grounded out in the 2nd inning.
Starting to get that radar locked in on that outside corner.
He's thrown a first pitch strike to every batter in this inning. Flags are dead still in center field. It's a cool night here. There they are, one on each side of that Death Star speaker out there. Our mortal enemy.
It really is. Loose fillings from listening to all that hip hop music before the ball game today.
1-1. A high chopper, short hop for Turner at 3rd, and the Diamondbacks down 2-0. Strand 2, bottom 4 on the way. Dodgers lead at 2-zip. Dodgers 2-0. Fans, MLB.TV Premium is back, and it's better than ever. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices like that one there. Plus, you get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply, so check out MLB.TV for all the details. Yasiel Puig leads off the Dodger 4th against Zach Greinke. Puig, first pitch swinging, skies it high, first base side for Goldie. And Zach Greinke certainly could use some quick outs after a 29-pitch second and a 26-pitch third.
Kershaw.
Kershaw hit into a double play to end the threat in the second. Dodgers got their 2 runs in the third. They had 4 consecutive one-out singles, RBIs by Gonzalez and Forsythe. So here you go. Greinke and Kershaw. This time it's personal. I don't know what that means.
This time it counts.
That's right. Greinke struck out looking in his first at bat against Kershaw. Kershaw hit into the double play. Now he's down 0-1, his second time up. I want to take a moment to wish one of our crew members a birthday here tonight, BB, Eric Faulkner, who runs. Technically, there's no tape anymore, and we're past that, thank goodness. But one of the tape guys. You know there's no tape. It's all digital.
Let's go to the videotape.
Warner Wolf, 1-2. It's also Pete Rose's birthday. I know you're a native Ohioan.
Peter Edward Rose.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Reds, by the way, are building a statue for Pete Rose. That's going to go up outside Good American Ballpark in Cincinnati. We were there a year or two ago when they had the Tony Perez statue.
Yeah, several statues outside Great American Ballpark. The Dodgers are going to get their very first statue tomorrow.
Jackie Robinson Day here, and we're at Dodger Stadium. We'll be here for that. Andrew Tolles will be next. Greg Maddux. How about that? Greg Maddux and Pete Rose have the same birthday. Whip shot back to the mound. And Frankie retires Kershaw, 2 outs. Speaking of Reds, it's also Chris Welsh's birthday.
Oh, Welshie, yeah.
Fine Reds TV analyst. They all share a birthday with Eric. That's what's important.
And they all know that.
The Millennium Faulkner, they call him in the truck. Tolles has been up twice, struck out twice. Four in a row now set down by Greinke. Zach Greinke, a sensational 3-year run with the Dodgers before he signed with the D-backs prior to last year. Faced his former team 3 times last season. They beat him twice. His ERA versus LA was just over 5.5. That one went right by Descalso and into left. That should have had Greinke out of the inning instead of 2-out base runner for Seager.
Oh,
that scored a base hit.
Another base hit. He just came up too early with the glove that time. Infielders are taught low to high. Start with your glove low, make the adjustment up if the ball happens to take a bad hop. But when you start with your glove up and try to stab down at the ball, chances are it's going to get through.
Well, Nick Ahmed had a ball hit right to him that he clanked. It was scored a base hit. That one hit right at Descalso. Also scored a single. Seager has walked, singled, scored a run. Fastball away, missed. He's been working Seager down in that area pretty much all night long so far. But he's not getting the strike calls down there.
Saw Seager line that ball into left field back in the 3rd inning to start that Dodger rally when they scored 2. Well, against good hitters, sometimes just minimizing the damage. You give the guy an opposite field single, especially a guy like Corey Seager that's capable of hitting the ball out of the ballpark or into the gaps, and hey, an opposite field single might not be the worst thing that could happen.
What a cut by Seager.
He wasn't thinking opposite field that time.
No. What makes you say that?
Oh, man. Dislocated some vertebrae taking this swing. Whoa. That looked like a Jock Peterson swing.
It did. Well, he walked Seager for the 2nd time tonight, his 3rd walk in the ball game, and now that ground ball that got through the infield really hurts because you've got 2 on for Justin Turner. Turner singled and scored his last time up. Andrew Tolles, the runner at second base. Corey Seager at first. And again, for the 3rd consecutive inning, Zach Greinke's really going to have to work to keep this a close ball game. Turner has turned into one of the more dangerous hitters in this lineup last year. 27 homers, 90 RBIs. It's the strike call from Doug Eddings, and it's 1-1.
Right there at the bottom of the zone.
Score. They're going to wave Seager. Here's the throw, and he is in there. Justin Turner, a 2-run double, and it's 4-0 LA. That ground ball that got through the infield really comes back to bite Zach Greinke.
I said it in regards to Clayton Kershaw. When you're facing one of the best in the game, you have to take advantage of every mistake by the other team, and unfortunately Diamondbacks made a defensive mistake behind Zach Greinke, even though it went as an infield hit, and Justin Turner ultimately makes him pay here in the inning.
And now Turner in scoring position for Adrian Gonzalez, who had an RBI single in the 3rd. Drilled one into right center. Now 8 hits for LA through 3 2/3. Into the shift. Brandon Drury. But the Dodgers tack on 2 more through 4. Diamondbacks trail it 4-0.
Lead as we head to the top half of the 5th inning. Anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
D-backs trail at 4-0. Only 1 hit so far against Clayton Kershaw. Chris Owings 1-out single in the 4th. Kershaw has walked 1, struck out 3, and through 4 innings has thrown only 50 pitches. Contrast that with the 88 thrown by Zach Greinke through 4. Descalso, Ahmed Mathis 6, 7, and 8 in the Diamondback 5th.
Pitcher spot due up 4th this inning for the Diamondbacks. No activity at this point in the Diamondbacks bullpen, and we've seen Torey Lovullo willing to push his starter a little bit beyond what you think they're capable of doing. So no activity at this point in the bullpen.
And Torey really wants his starting pitchers, and he says, by and large, for the most part, they've done it this year to set the tone out there. Sometimes that almost requires going the extra inning, even this early in the year. 0-2 on Descalso.
Now, that being said, the bullpen should be in pretty good shape after the off day yesterday. Nobody's really been overused at this point of the season.
Grandal appealed to the wrong umpire there. As Diaz at 3rd.
Ask them all.
Sure.
Try 2nd.
Maybe you get a different answer. Descalso strikes out. 4 strikeouts for Kershaw. Fans Mother's Day only 1 month away. Treat mom to the D-backs and the Pirates game on Sunday, May 14th. First 10,000 moms in attendance will get the D-backs clutch purse, courtesy of PetSmart. Get your Mother's Day tickets at dbacks.com. Nick Ahmed struck out looking to lead off the 3rd his first time up. That was Kershaw's 4th strikeout, as we mentioned, but his first swinging strikeout. First 3 had been looking. All 4 punch outs so far coming on fastballs.
You see Jeremy Hazelbaker grabbing a bat there. Might just be wishful thinking on his part, but that's what you expect your bench players to do. Recognize where you're at in the lineup, and there is a possibility they could hit for Zach Greinke in this inning if they get something going.
Ahmed chases a high fastball, and it's 1-2. No one throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. Just lofted a breaking ball in there for his 5th strikeout and his 4th looking. Doug Eddings behind the plate.
High breaking ball. I'm not sure if I got back down into the strike zone. Just above. Very rarely you see a high breaking ball like that, especially if it doesn't get back to the top of the strike zone. Rarely do you see it called a strike.
Well, Kershaw has now struck out 3 of the last 4 he's faced. 2 down for Mathis, who lined out to left his first time up. Pitcher spot is up next, and Zach Greinke makes his way out into the on-deck circle. Well, that kind of buckled Jeff a bit, and he's down 0-2.
Grandal wanted to come back with the same curveball that stole the first 2 strikes here against Jeff Mathis, but Kershaw shook him off for a fastball away that time, perhaps setting up another breaking ball. Slider this time.
Up the middle, but Forsythe is there behind the bag. Well, Kershaw gave up that single and walk in the 4th inning. Since then, he's retired 5 in a row and leads it 4-0.
The Dodgers so far, Diamondbacks scratched out only 1 base hit. They trail it 4-0. It's time to take a look at our timeless moment, brought to you by Coors Banquet. We go back to 1976 on April 14th. Dave Kingman, playing for the Mets, hit a home run over the left field bleachers and the street, and 3 houses up on Kenmore Street, 530 feet from home plate. I was watching this game on TV, and the woman that lived in the house thought somebody had knocked on her front door and came to answer it.
That's at Wrigley, right?
Yeah, yeah. Way out.
He hit a few like that,
yes,
Dave Kingman.
He did.
Logan Forsythe, who has struck out and delivered an RBI single, leads off the 5th against Zach Greinke, who now, through 4+ is already at 90 pitches.
Well, you would assume this is Zach's last inning. His spot is scheduled to lead off in the top half of the 6th. We did see Jeremy Hazelbaker with a bat. However, nobody was warming up in the Diamondbacks bullpen. But trailing by 4 runs, you would think this would probably do it for Zach, especially given the elevated pitch count.
Zach Saturday against the Indians pitched into the 7th inning. Went 6 2/3 through 106 pitches. And Forsythe knocks one into left center field, a leadoff single. He's 2 for 3.
That pitch just hasn't been good for him tonight. He doesn't throw a lot of curveballs, but usually he can steal a strike with it. This time he leaves it up belt high over the middle of the plate, and Forsythe bangs it into center field for a leadoff base hit here in the 5th.
Now 9 hits for Los Angeles. Yasmani Grandal, the catcher, 1 for 2. He pulls one into right, a base hit.
And on another curveball, this time banged into right field by Grandal, just leaving him up, catching too much of the strike zone.
The dangerous Jock Peterson now. Mike Butcher on the phone to the bullpen. Zach, Saturday against the Indians, felt like he could throw most of his pitches where he wanted to, which of course is always key for him. He did notice that the pitch Cleveland hit the best against him even though he felt pretty good about it, was his fastball. So now he's getting hit pretty hard here the third time through the order. Tom Wilhelmsen, the right-hander, will start warming up. Now 10 hits for the Dodgers. Peterson has doubled and popped up. Big cut at that one, 0-1. Logan Forsythe, the runner at second. The catcher Yasmani Grandal at first. 5 of the last 6 LA hitters have reached base safely against Greinke. And that's after he gave up those 4 consecutive singles in the third. I think that bug that was flying around you before the game is down there now.
I was swinging at that thing for 15 minutes.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Very evasive bug.
Jeff Mathis is not shy of, this may be about the size, but Mathis in general, it seems, Bob, not shy about making mound visits. He's not getting those memos from Commissioner Manfred. Wilhelmsen, the bartender, continues throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. That's out of play.
That's a good location for that fastball to Jock Peterson. If you're going to challenge him with a heater, you're better off going up, preferably up and in. He's got a lot of lift, a lot of uppercut to his swing already, and on pitches up in the zone, he tends to get underneath them and pop them high in the air to the right side.
Two and two. Puig on deck.
Was it the full count pitch that Peterson used to call timeout and step out? See if he does it here on the full count delivery from Zach Greinke.
The great Rick Monday gave us that one a couple of years ago, and it's held up nearly every time. Every time Peterson gets a 3-2 count, he gets in there and then at the last minute calls timeout. At least he has been doing that. Come on now.
Oh, new year.
Yep. A high hopper. Drury for 1. Ahmed can't turn it.
Number 66, Yasiel Puig.
An awkward turn attempt to begin with that exaggerated pull shift on for Jock Peterson. Nick Ahmed was actually on the second base side of the bag. Had to kind of run to the base and then look back over his left shoulder for the throw from Brandon Drury.
Yeah, there's almost no normal anymore if you're a major league infielder. You may have to make a play from any spot in the field. Puig has walked and popped up. Forsythe is the runner at third. Peterson at first and 1 out. Puig 4 for his last 23 up there. "99 pitches, 59 strikes, number 100 on the way."
10 Dodger hits in the ball game. That means that Zack Greinke's 2 starts here at Dodger Stadium as a Diamondbacks. He's given up 9 or more hits in both of those starts. It's significant only because in his 3 years as a member of the Dodgers, 46 regular season starts in this ballpark, he gave up 9 or more hits only 3 times.
Seems like the biggest hit so far has been that Toll single through the infield with 2 outs in the 4th. That one led to 2 more Dodger runs. If that play is made, Greinke gets out with a 1-2-3-4, and it would still be a 2-0 game. There's the strike, and it's 1-1 on Yasiel Puig. Kershaw on deck. Puig looks to be in very good shape. He reported the spring training in Glendale noticeably leaner. He dropped some weight. Dave Roberts was saying it's as good as he's ever seen Puig, both mentally and physically. A lot trimmer.
And according to reports, he's been showing up on time, showing up for meetings. We saw him signing autographs with the fans down the third base line before the game.
Well, he came as close as he could to being permanently banished from LA last year. They reportedly tried hard to trade him. Couldn't find a taker, sent him to the minor leagues for a while. But even after that troubled season last year, Roberts was pretty adamant this spring that, look, Puig's going to be out there the majority of the time. Forsythe is at third, Peterson at first.
Just seems really odd to see Yasiel Puig hitting in the 8th spot.
It's a good lineup if he can do that.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, for all his physical tools, Puig has never in his career hit 20 home runs in a season, stolen a dozen bases, or even knocked in 70 runs. Count is full, 3-2. Greinke's gone full on the last 2 Dodger hitters.
Probably the biggest difference for Yasiel Puig so far this season is his willingness to take the base on balls. 8 walks already on the season. He'd go months of a year without drawing 8 walks.
Yeah. Drives it to center. Pollock is there. Here comes Forsythe. Peterson scampers back to the bag at first, and the run scores. It's 5-0.
AJ might have a shot there coming straight in as he makes the catch and unleashes that throw. Unfortunately, he pulled it to the first base side of the field. Zack Greinke on his way to back up home plate ends up fielding that throw on the first baseline.
Clayton Kershaw now. Peterson had been running on the pitch. He had to hustle back to the bag at first. He's down there now with 2 outs. RBI singles in the 3rd by Gonzalez and Forsythe. Turner a 2-run double in the 4th. And now Puig the sac fly in the 5th. Kershaw so far tonight 0 for 2. Greinke likely will empty the tank right here. His spot is due to lead off the 6th inning, as Bob mentioned. Tom Wilhelmsen is ready in the Diamondback bullpen. Slow tapper up the first base line, and that ends the inning. But the Dodgers score for the 3rd consecutive inning. They lead at 5-0. Zach Greinke and the Diamondbacks trail LA 5-0. Our Cox high-speed highlights. Well, Clayton Kershaw. So far, he's walked 1, he struck out 5, he's given up just 1 hit.
And really seems to have it all working tonight. His fastball command has been tremendous. He's thrown some of those big rainbow curveballs. His go-to pitch has been that hard slider down and into the right-handers. He's a handful when he's at his best.
Kershaw tonight retired the first 10 Diamondbacks he faced. Chris Owings hit a rocket single right back at the mound, 99 miles an hour off the bat. And then Goldie walked, so the Diamondbacks in that 4th inning had 2 on, 1 out. But since then, Kershaw has retired 5 in a row. And Greinke's spot will lead off the 6th inning. His night is done. Chris Herman will hit for the pitcher. Zach tonight, 5 innings, 5 runs, 10 hits. He walked 3 and had 4 strikeouts. Herman 3 for 10 at the plate this year.
Probably not the greatest time in the world to try to strike up a conversation with Zach Greinke, but that was Chris Iannetta over in that first base dugout talking to tonight's starting pitcher. Probably just kind of picking his brain a little bit in the event that Chris Iannetta is the guy behind the plate for Zach's future starts.
Chris is really a thinker. He's a North Carolina Chapel Hill guy, a very bright guy. So Herman leads off the Arizona 6th against Kershaw.
And Chris Iannetta, we just showed you the only right-handed bat available off the bench tonight. Torey Lovullo loading up his lineup with right-handed hitters. So the left-handed hitter that gets the duty is Chris Herman here facing the lefty Clayton Kershaw.
No Lamb, no Peralta in the starting lineup tonight. So you've got those 2 guys down there, Hazelbaker as well. Pops it up, third base side. Turner and Seager over there. It'll be the shortstop Seager, 1 out. AJ, the leadoff man, 0 for 2. So AJ scuffling just a bit now. He's at 227 for the year. And 3 for his last 30 at the plate. Mentioned Zach Greinke pitching fairly deep into the ball game in his last start Saturday against Cleveland at Chase Field. He went 6 2/3 through 106 pitches. Zach today finished 5 innings at 107 pitches. Still going over the night with Chris Iannetta. Greinke 5 runs all earned on 10 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Bounce to shortstop for Seager.
Hey fans, the day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Well, Chris Owings has the Diamondbacks' only hit so far against Clayton Kershaw. That single in the 4th. CO getting the start tonight in right field. Made a very nice catch early in the ballgame up against that right field wall. Adrian Gonzalez hit one high and deep to right to win the 1st. Chris has now hit safely in 6 straight games. Oh, 2. Boy, Clayton Kershaw tonight, through 5 innings, only once has had to throw more than 13 pitches in 1 inning. Called strike 3. 6th strikeout for Kershaw. He's now set down 8 straight Diamondbacks and leads it 5-0. Diamondbacks trail the Dodgers 5-0 as we are set for the bottom of the 6th inning. Our State Farm winning combo. Well, this has been decidedly a one-sided combination in terms of the starting pitchers. Clayton Kershaw, 6 scoreless. He's given up just 1 hit.
Yeah, Clayton has been on top of his game. Not the case for Zach tonight. His fastball command was okay tonight, but really struggled to command his off-speed pitches, his changeup, his slider, and his curveball. Right at 50% strike zone percentage.
And the right-hander Tom Wilhelmsen on to start the bottom of the 6th for the Diamondbacks. Our Ashline called to the bullpen, his 6th appearance this year. Bounced up the middle, Nick Ahmed behind the bag. Wilhelmsen worked in Wednesday's game against the Giants, 2/3 of an inning, threw 31 pitches, only 15 for strikes. Walked 2 in that inning, gave up a double and a triple. And now he'll face Corey Seager, who has singled, walked twice, and scored twice.
I did not realize this, but I should have. I was there. Tom Wilhelmsen pitched in the first 3 ball games of the season, the first pitcher in D-backs history to pitch in the first 3 games of a season.
You were there. So was I, come to think of it. Yeah, you're right, he did. Just one of those little oddities that pop up from time to time.
And if you're not paying close attention, it'll slip right by you. I would have thought that Oscar Villarreal pitched, like every game in the first half when I was managing.
That's a foul ball.
I think Oscar pitched 86 times in his rookie season. And he would have pitched in another 20 games if I would have let him. He came into my office every day before he would head down to the bullpen and tell me, I'm good to go, whatever you need. So I took him up on it.
Good managing is all that is. Yeah, 86 times in 03. Krieger lifts one to center. A.J. Pollock runs that one down. That's an out. 2 outs in the 6th. Yeah, Villarreal in 03 is a 21-year-old rookie. 86 appearances, only 1 start for 98 innings. I think he might have broke him. Next year, only 17 games. The year after that, only 11 games.
Well, I wasn't there for
I was going to say.
entire year after, and the following year I was long gone.
There's a strike to Justin Turner. Turner, a 2-run double his last time up. He singled and scored in the 3rd.
I wasn't saving him for the next guy.
Yeah.
We didn't have many bullets to fire that year.
In the air for A.J. Pollock in center. And the bartender comes in and serves up a 1-2-3 6th. We're in Los Angeles where the D-backs trail the Dodgers 5-0. Through 6 innings against Clayton Kershaw. CenturyLink, what's next? Game 2 of this 4-game set tomorrow. The left-hander Patrick Corbin on the mound for the Diamondbacks against Kenta Maeda. Dodgers were the worst team in baseball last year against left-hand pitching, and the Diamondbacks in this 4-game set will have 2 lefties going. Patrick pitches tomorrow. Robbie Ray pitches the series finale on Monday against former D-back great Brandon McCarthy. Taijuan Walker will go in Sunday's game. This whole Friday Monday thing.
Yeah, really messes
you're
up.
like, wait, what day is it? Goldie leads off the 7th. He has flat out walked 0 for 1. Kershaw has retired the last 8 batters he's faced. Goldie yanks one foul down the left field line. His walk in the 4th was the last D-back base runner. Oh, we have a moment. We should point out some other starting pitching news. Speaking of the pitchers, Rockies, who had all those injuries in spring training. Hey, they lost so many key guys. They had another one occur yesterday when John Gray had to leave a game early. And they didn't get good news on Gray, their opening day guy, as Goldie popped that straight up in the air for Grandal. And he's got it in fair territory. John Gray, who injured a toe in spring training, insisted it was no big deal. And has now come up with a stress fracture in his left foot, so he will miss at least a month. And also Noah Syndergaard, Thor, was on the mound tonight for the Mets. He had to leave with blister problems. Tomas 0 for 2.
Normally you say, blister problem, he'll be okay by his next start, but there have been guys that have been plagued by blisters pretty much their whole career, including Dodger left-hander Rich Hill.
I think there's a chance he starts at some point pretty soon. He's supposed to be back soon. Randall Delgado has started warming up in the D-back bullpen. Corey Seager at short. 10 straight set down by Kershaw. He retired the first 10 he faced tonight. So Kershaw just 2 over the minimum. Drury 0 for 2. D-backs had a chance in the 4th inning when Drury was up there. There's Delgado with bullpen coach Mike Fetters. They had 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs in the 4th, and Brandon grounded out to end the threat. D-backs were down 2-0 at that time.
We've made a lot this season about the Diamondbacks getting together in the dugout early in the ball game to talk about what they'd seen and come up with a good game plan against a pitcher 2nd and 3rd time through the order. I can imagine that conversation when Clayton Kershaw's on the mound. Well, he threw me an unhittable fastball off the outside corner. Oh yeah, he threw me a curveball that looked like it dropped out of the upper deck. Oh, he threw me a back foot slider I couldn't get to.
7 strikeouts for Kershaw. He's retired 11 straight and leads at 5-0. The Dodgers 5-0. D-backs fans, if you can't catch the games on your TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go, presented by your Valley Honda dealers. Just download the app and take Fox Sports Arizona and your Arizona Diamondbacks with you wherever you go. New pitcher for the D-backs, the right-hander Randall Delgado. Our ash line called to the bullpen, Randall's 5th appearance this year. Diamondbacks so far have been shut out. They've had only 1 base hit. They have not been shut out yet this year. Their lowest hit total in a ball game is 4. That was the other day against the Giants' Matt Moore. They lost that ball game 4-1. Gonzalez an RBI single in the third. He's 1 for 3. Saw that the Braves played, I believe, their first game at the new ballpark tonight, hosting San Diego.
First home run in the new ballpark.
Ender Inciarte.
Yeah, about that.
Sun Trust Park, something like that, up in the northern part of Atlanta. And they beat the Padres 5-2. You and I both got on the Freddie Freeman train for Beat the Streak. I'm back up there and among the lofty numbers. I'm up to 2.
Me too. We're tied for 49,000th place.
I tell you what, this Beat the Streak thing is making me crazy. Adam Jones took an 0 yesterday for the Orioles at Toronto. I was distraught. You can play Beat the Streak along with Bob and I. Just download the app for free on your phone and try to put together a hitting streak. Pick 1 or 2 players every day, any player, any team, any game, and see if you can beat the streak, get to 56. I'm only 54 away.
That's only 27 days of 2 a day. You're right there.
The 2 a day is what's been killing me. You get greedy. You can pick one guy, or it gives you the chance to double down. See, they knew what they were doing when they created the double down.
Yeah.
In the air to center for Pollock.
Well, I've actually been calling in outside help.
Really?
I called my son today, who's catching bullpens again this year for the Boston Red Sox. They were facing Chris Archer in the Tampa Bay Rays today, and I like the way that Andrew Benintendi's been swinging the bat lately. So I called Michael and asked him, would you take Benintendi against Chris Archer? He said, absolutely. So I went with Andrew Benintendi to complete my double down today.
Yeah, that was Archer and Rick Porcello. Porcello got hammered by Tampa Bay at Fenway Park, right?
Yeah, he gave up a bunch early.
Forsythe has singled twice, knocked in a run and scored once. Well, it's a fun way to sort of just keep up with what else is going on out there. Yeah, the Rays went to Boston, won at 10-5. And there's also the chance to win $5.6 million.
There's that too.
Yeah, but you and I, we're not about the money.
No.
It's about the glory.
Trying to get something other than a goose egg after my name.
Nick Ahmed at shortstop.
Well, how about this? Coming into play tonight, the Diamondbacks had the most hits in Major League Baseball. They scored the most runs in Major League Baseball, but you bump up against a guy that's got 3 Cy Youngs on his mantle at home, and this is what can happen.
Clayton Kershaw walked 1, struck out 7. He's given up just 1 hit, an 0 single in the 4th. Retired the first 10 he faced, gave up a single and a walk, and has since retired the last 11 he's faced. There's Yasmani Grandal, who's 2 for 3. I did notice that the cooler also picked Freddie Freeman.
Well, everybody was on Freddie Freeman today.
So if the cooler can't cool him off, maybe things are changing. Delgado behind 3-0. Zach Greinke tonight went 5 innings, walked 3, struck out 4, gave up 10 hits. A 2-out walk to the Dodger catcher will bring up Jock Peterson.
fielder, John Peterson.
Peterson doubled in the second. Popped up and reached on a fielder's choice. Again, he's trying to bunt away from the shift. There is the old philosophy that if you get a guy like Peterson, who's obviously got tremendous power, to give up on that power and just try and get the scratch single, essentially the shift is won. Do you buy that?
It depends on the game situation, whether he's leading off an inning or in this case up at the plate with 2 outs and a runner on base. If I'm Dave Roberts, I want to see him swing the bat right here. If he's leading off an inning and trying to get on base against the shift by bunting, I'm okay with that.
Descalso, the only infielder on the left-hand side, and he's well off the third base bag. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, out in right field. Daniel got the start at third tonight for Jake Lamb against the lefty Kershaw. Bounced into the shift this time, and Ahmed throws him out. That's a 6-3 putout, and Delgado strands the 2-out walk. We go to the 8th inning in LA. D-backs trail at 5-0. River game summary. Not much to say. It was Greinke Kershaw, but Kershaw was the runaway winner here. Zach Greinke went 5 innings, gave up 5 runs on 10 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 4. In the meantime, Kershaw struck out the first 10 he faced. He struck out the last 11 he's faced. He has struck out 7, walked just 1, and given up only 1 hit.
The 7th time in Kershaw's career he's allowed 1 hit or fewer through 7 innings.
I got a nerdier one for you. The 58th and 59th time in his career that he's retired at least 10 in a row within 1 game. He's actually done it twice tonight.
Wow.
First 10, an Owing single. Goldie walked with 1 out in the 4th, and since then he set down 11 in a row. Descalso leads off the 8th, and he still had only 81 pitches. Coming off a 9-pitch 7th.
Yeah, and you say, why don't the Diamondbacks take a few more pitches? Well, Clayton Kershaw's just hammering away at that strike zone. If you take pitches, you're still going to be in the hole.
The plan of attack against most top-tier pitchers like Clayton Kershaw is to get them early.
Andrew Tolles in left field.
He's a guy that has a reputation of jumping ahead in the count, throwing a lot of fastballs early in the sequence, especially the first time through the order. So why not jump on those hittable pitches early in the at-bat? The problem is they haven't been hittable. They have been quality pitcher strikes.
I think Ahmed has twice struck out looking. Clayton Kershaw, 24 career complete games, 15 shutouts. And bidding for another one tonight. There's strike one. Andrew Chafin, the left-hander. Andrew worked in Wednesday's game in San Francisco. Ahmed rolls one into right field, just the second hit for the Diamondbacks.
Hey fans, the D-backs will face off against these Dodgers again next weekend at home, April 21st through the 23rd. This is the only weekend series the Dodgers will be at Chase Field this season. You can get a ticket to any of the D-backs Dodger games for just $25 with the D-backs Value Pack. The Value Pack includes a game ticket, a Subway sandwich or a hot dog, and a Pepsi. It's available for every game. Visit dbacks.com/value.
The catcher Jeff Mathis 0 for 2. Pitcher spot up next, Jeremy Hazelbaker in the on-deck circle. He would hit for Delgado. Roll right to Forsythe at second, Seager for one, and they turn it. We'll go to the home half of the game. Diamondbacks trailing 5-0. In the home half of the 8th inning, fans, lots of fun giveaways this year. Be sure to get your tickets next Saturday, April 22nd. You can get the D-backs car sunshades, courtesy of Safeline Auto Glass. Saturday, April 29th, the D-backs tote bag, courtesy of MLB Network. And on May 14th, first 10,000 moms get the D-backs clutch purse, courtesy of PetSmart. Visit dbacks.com to see the whole promotional schedule. Now we have Tim right here who will not hold up the card. There you go. If you're going to be in here, you got to work. I want to thank the Dodgers for making us so comfortable here. Yeah. We have Tim. We got our own camera right in the booth. How convenient is that? Yasiel Puig leads off the bottom of the 8th, so our man Tim is here with us.
Yeah, they say these road trips are a good bonding experience for the team. We really have no choice up here in the visitors' booth at Dodger Stadium.
Yes, as always, they're looking out for the comfort of the visiting TV folks, and we want to thank them for that. Puig has walked and drove in a run with a sac fly. He's 0 for 1. Tim's good people, though. He's locked. I've tried to distract him all game long. He's locked in on that camera.
Is locked in.
He's a professional.
Well, we've got 4 days of work on him, so
that's right.
We'll snap.
He'll be sick of us by the end of this trip. You got this camera tomorrow, Tim? No, he's already had it. Yeah. He's arranged to work another camera here somewhere else. How can you blame him? Kershaw is out there in the on-deck circle behind Puig, who's batting 8th tonight. And Delgado's running full 3-2. Clayton Kershaw so far working on a 2-hit shutout. Diamondbacks in the 9th will have the pitcher spot. Pollock and Owings due up 9-1-2. Puig rolls it up the middle. A leadoff single.
Fastball tails right back to the middle of the plate. Sound like Puig got it down near the trademark, but you can see that big gap up the middle of the field, and even with Nick Ahmed's range, no chance to get there.
The pitcher Kershaw, 0 for 3 so far.
Trying to give you the indication he's going to bunt right here, but no guarantee of that.
Descalso coming in from third. Kershaw squares and taps it back toward the mound. Delgado has one play, and they move Puig along. Sacrifice 1-3 brings up the leadoff man Andrew Toll.
Number 60, Andrew Toll.
No one warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Dodger bullpen quiet as well, but Kershaw through 8 innings has only thrown 87 pitches. Cole singled and scored in the 4th. He's 1 for 4. First of a 4-game series here in LA. Diamondback Live pregame show comes your way at 5:30 tomorrow. It's a 6:10 first pitch here. Patrick Corbin versus Kenta Maeda. And Taijuan Walker on Sunday and Robbie Ray on Monday. That's out of play. Clayton Kershaw, a 2-hit shutout through 8. Big crowd here to see it, just under 50,000 on a Friday night at Dodger Stadium. 2-2. Corey Seager on deck.
You know, watching Yasiel Puig take his lead off second base, he has really calmed down his entire game. When he first got to the major leagues, every time he got on base, he was a threat to be picked off. He'd take too big of a lead. He'd take too big of a secondary lead. He'd break for second and then stop. When he was on second base, he was always looking to steal third. And Nick kind of sneaking in behind him out there in the middle of the infield. But Puig just seems to have calmed down his entire game. It's not always showtime.
Well, he was in the doghouse and on double secret probation last year. So maybe he's learned his lesson. Toles has worked the count full 3-2. He's a guy that can be a real pest up there, Andrew Toles. He's a good young player. Good defender, good speed, gets timely hits. Worked his way all the way up from A-ball last year to the big leagues and hit .314 in just under 50 games last year with the Dodgers. This one in the air, deep center field. A.J. Pollock looking for that fence, backing up. He's at the wall, and it's gone. Andrew Toles, his third home run this year, and the Dodgers have opened up a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, Toles in the lineup, as you mentioned, because it gives him a pesky leadoff hitter, a guy that gets on base a lot. But flexing his muscles right here, now tied with Yasiel Puig for the team home run lead. You rarely see balls leave Dodger Stadium in center field at night, but that one just does sneak over the center field fence.
Yeah, no wind out there at all. Toles earned that one in 8-pitch at bat, and now Delgado down 7-0 will work to Seager with one out, the base is empty. Seager has singled, walked twice, scored twice tonight. Bullpen still quiet for the Diamondbacks. Seager reaches out and dunks that into short left center. Third Dodger hit in this inning against Randall Delgado. That'll bring up Justin Turner.
Second base hit, fourth time on base for Seager in this ball game. He walked in the first, walked in the fourth, singled in the third, and now another single here in the eighth.
Yeah, I'm sure Torey Lovullo would like just to get through this eighth inning with Delgado out there, but he's going to have to get the bullpen up again, and Andrew Chafin for the second time tonight has started warming up. And he's warming up quickly with the help of Mike Fetters out there. Mike Butcher. Turner singled and scored in the third, had a 2-run double in the fourth. Turner had a career year last year. 27 homers, 90 RBIs, and did it heading into free agency. And it paid off. He got a $64 million deal to stay in LA. This is a guy who was acquired from the Mets as basically a backup infielder.
Yeah, he was a waiver claim off the Mets roster. Before that, he was with the Baltimore Orioles briefly. Always put up decent numbers as a utility guy, but his versatility was his main calling card. But
really has come into his own as an offensive player.
Yeah, he's quickly become maybe the Dodgers' most important offensive player, certainly from the right side of the plate. Led the team in homers and RBIs last year. Randall behind, 3 balls and a strike. Chafin is ready in the Diamondback bullpen with Gonzalez on deck. Here's the 3-1 to Turner. Off the fist, little squib shot. Drury's out there and he runs it down. And here comes Torey Lovullo. That will be it for Randall Delgado. And we'll see Andrew Chafin come in to face Adrian Gonzalez. We'll take a break from LA where the Diamondbacks trail the Dodgers 7-0. The left-hander on to face Adrian Gonzalez and get the final out of this 8th inning. Our Ashline called to the bullpen. Andrew so far so good this year. 6 appearances and an ERA under 2.5.
A little bit of a head scratcher that Andrew Chafin's even in this ball game. We know the Dodgers are susceptible to left-handed pitching, but in a 7-0 deficit, 8th inning of a ball game, you might have thought about saving Andrew as well as Jorge De La Rosa if needed in the next 3 games, but hasn't pitched in a couple days, so Torrey's going to take a chance, bring him in here and face Adrian Gonzalez.
Yeah, Andrew got 2 outs Wednesday night in San Francisco, but needed only 6 pitches. You had the day off yesterday. And hopefully he faces just 1 batter here tonight in Gonzalez, who had an RBI single in the 3rd and is 1 for 4. Corey Seager at first, 2 outs. Dodger bullpen still quiet. Kershaw through 8 innings, only 87 pitches, and a chance for his 25th career complete game. It would be his 16th shutout. Kershaw tonight has faced 26 batters. He's thrown 25 balls. How's that for efficient? And in the dugout, ready to start the 9th inning. Sky to short right. Here comes Owings. And CO has it. Dodgers had 2 more on the Tolles homer. We head to the 9th. Kershaw has a 7-0 lead.
saw me neck deep in the river screaming for relief. He says it's mine to give, but it's yours to choose. You're gonna sink or swim, you're gonna learn the truth. When I'm all alone and the fire grows, and I'm all alone and the fire grows.
Well, this matchup of headliners decidedly one-sided here tonight as Clayton Kershaw takes the mound to start the ninth inning, having thrown only 87 pitches in the ball game, working on a 2-hit shutout. And Chris Iannetta, the right-hand batter, will bat for the pitcher to lead off the D-backs ninth. Clayton Kershaw has 15 career shutouts, only one in which he threw fewer than 100 pitches. That was opening day against the Giants in 2013, had a 94-pitch shutout. Gave up 4 hits in that ball game with 7 strikeouts. Kershaw was terrific here opening day against the Padres. 7 innings, gave up only 2 hits. But is coming off a loss at Coors Field in his previous start. That was Saturday. And the Rockies got him for 3 home runs. Fastball missed it. It's 2-2. A.J. Pollock on deck. Chris Owings in the hole. Iannetta knocks one into left field. Just the 3rd hit for the Diamondbacks against Kershaw. Leadoff single in the ninth.
Well, you may remember, partner, early on in the ball game, I said when you're facing one of the premier pitchers in the game, especially when he's on top of his game, you have to take advantage of every opportunity. Little did we know the only opportunity the Diamondbacks would have came with 1 out in that 4th inning. The Chris Owings single, the first hit of the game against Kershaw. Then the walk to Paul Goldschmidt. You kind of felt like maybe they were getting some momentum going, but then a called 3rd strike on Tomas and a 5-3 ground out by Drury, and that's basically been it for the D-backs offense tonight.
Yep. Kershaw retired the first 10 he faced tonight, and then set down 12 in a row from the 4th inning to the 8th. And there's strike 1 to A.J. Diamondback Line post-game show follows our ball game. Jody Jackson will have reaction from inside the clubhouse. First of a 4-game set of Friday through Monday wraparound series at Dodger Stadium. Patrick Corbin tomorrow against Kenta Maeda. D-backs Line pregame show. An odd time tomorrow. It's a 5:30 start for the pregame. 6:10 first pitch here in LA. This will improve Kershaw against the Diamondbacks career-wise. 25 starts. He'll improve to 13-8. Pedro Baez just activated by the Dodgers and started warming up in the bullpen.
That'd be small consolation, but if you could chase Kershaw out of this game and get into that Dodger bullpen, make them use at least 1 extra arm out of that pen in game 1 of the series, even if you drop the first game of this series, at least you've gotten into their bullpen a little bit.
Still got 3 more games to play here this weekend. Called strike 3, 8 strikeouts for Kershaw. And Doug Eddings, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, has an erratic strike zone.
Yeah, 8 strikeouts in the game, 6 of them looking, which has kind of been the history for Doug Eddings behind the plate when Clayton Kershaw's been on the mound. Roughly 40% of the strikeouts that Kershaw has recorded with Eddings behind the plate have been looking.
I mean, they're not egregious misses. Most of them are borderline pitches, but he's gotten some help from time to time. There's no question about that.
If there was ever a pitcher that did not need the umpire's help, it's Clayton Kershaw.
Chris Owings. as one of the 3 D-backs hits a single in the 4th. CO, when he came up in that 4th inning, hit one 99 miles an hour off the bat, right back at Kershaw's head. And it was a scary moment. He ducked out of the way, but boy, it was an absolute rocket back to the mound. And would have been a disaster for LA, obviously. That's in the seats, and it's 1-1. Torey Lovullo, the LA native, grew up a Dodger fan. Called it sacred ground here for him. He grew up with Walter Alston and Tommy Lasorda. The Diamondbacks, who won just twice in 9 games here last year, finding tough sledding again tonight. 1-2 on Owings. Dodgers won 12 of the 19 meetings overall last year. Pitch number 100 from Clayton Kershaw coming up. Baez still warming up in the LA bullpen. Owings drops one into right center field. Iannetta takes the turn. It rolls all the way to the wall. They're going to wave Chris home all the way from first. Here's the relay throw to the plate, and he is in there. It split the outfielders. Peterson and Puig out there, and Iannetta, the catcher, was able to come all the way in, and the Diamondbacks are on the board. There goes the Kershaw shutout.
A slicing line drive on this big over-the-top curveball that stayed up in the zone for CO. That ball was slicing away from Peterson the entire time. He took a shallow line, had to chase it all the way to the fence.
Well, that was a heck of a relay from Forsythe.
It really was a good relay, just a little slow getting the tag down by Yasmani Grandal. I believe the Dodgers are going to take a look just to try to preserve the shutout, but it appeared clear that he was in under the tag there at home plate.
Doug Eddings in perfect position to make the call. It did look like Chris snuck that foot in there and got to the plate first, even if the throw may have beat him. And so the crew chief, Jeff Nelson, on your right there, will talk to New York. They're showing it on the Dodger video board here.
It's just human nature for a catcher to want to go out and get the ball and then try to bring the tag back to the runner. You're always much better served to let the ball travel that extra 3 or 4 feet at the end of the play. Let it come to you. You can see Grandal caught the ball out in front of his body on the first base side, had to come all the way back to foul territory to apply the tag.
Well, what would be Clayton Kershaw's 16th career shutout is on the line, perhaps with New York. The lead foot for Chris Iannetta. Eddings, the plate umpire, in the middle there on the left, and Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, on the right.
And you're right about that relay from Logan Forsythe. That throw was right on the money.
What a strike from out there in right center.
Perfect one hopper right to the plate. That's something that Tony Paraschico will make a close note of.
He is safe, and the run scores. There goes the shutout. Well, the call stands. It turns into an RBI double for Chris Owings. He's 2 for 4, and it's a 7-1 score. That's going to be it for Clayton Kershaw, and he should leave to a tremendous hand as Dave Roberts goes out to get his left-hander. Backs a spoiled Clayton Kershaw shutout attempt. He's left the ball game here after 8 1/3 innings, and just activated by the Dodgers after a right thumb sprain slowed him down coming out of spring training. The right-hander Pedro Baez, his first appearance this year.
Well, small moral victory to chase Kershaw out of this ball game. I think Dave Roberts probably did the right thing, pulled the plug on Kershaw. Long season, a lot of innings ahead of their left-hander, so turns it over to Baez, gets him involved in the mix right away.
Goldie walked in the fourth. He's 0 for 2. Owings at second after his RBI double. Just the 4th hit for the Diamondbacks tonight. Baez is new to this thing this year and wants to go over the signs again. I forgot, what was curveball?
Oh, that's right. I don't throw one.
That's why there's no sign, Pedro. Well, Goldie's had a slow road trip so far. 1 hit and 11 at bats in San Francisco. 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Owings has 2 of the 4 D-backs hits, a single and a double. 0-1. Goldie doing most of his damage this year against fastballs, so that's pretty much what Baez throws.
Yeah, mid to upper 90s with some tailing action. I don't know how you can throw it that hard and get it to move in 60 feet 6 inches.
Kind of ain't fair. He is also the slowest pitcher in the history of baseball.
Well, there's a lot of guys that would lay stake to that.
Yeah, but this guy's...
He's right up there.
He might be on the pole position. He is in no hurry. Goldie doesn't know whether to back out or get back in. 2-0. Fastball up and in at 96. 3 balls and no strikes.
Dodgers had a right-hander back in the day, Alejandro Pena.
Oh yeah.
Who we used to call Alejandro Rain Delay Pena. Because when he took the mound, it was like a rain delay. It'd be a minute or 2 between pitches.
Tomas on deck. '98.
Of course, the story is when Baez got to the major leagues, he was told to try to slow things down, you know, meaning slow the game down a little bit. Don't let your mind get too far ahead of your body, but he took it literally. Slow the game down, boy, does he ever.
Goldie chases a high fastball, and it's a full count, 3-2. Yeah, there was something lost in translation there, and he apparently meant work as slowly as humanly possible. Straight heat to Goldie, still 3-2. I was just looking at Alejandro Pena. He pitched for 15 years in the big leagues.
Yeah, like rubber arm. Took the ball every 5th day as a starting pitcher. He was one of those guys you knew was going to give you innings, keep you in a ball game. And on occasion, he could dazzle out there. But it always took him a while.
500 major league appearances. Goldie works the walk, and now the Diamondbacks have their 3rd base runner in this inning. And a chance for Yasmani Tomas.
Field number 24, Yasmani Tomas.
Figure this would be a soft landing. I'm sure Dave Roberts did for Baez, who was coming off that minor thumb injury, hadn't pitched all season long. He comes out here with a big lead, but he walks the first man he faced. Now it's 2 on, 1 out, and 1 run already in. Yasmani Tomas 0 for 3. Right in this ballpark next to the Death Star speaker out there in dead center field, our sworn enemy. Dodgers have a clock that runs in between batters. I don't think I've seen that at any ballpark. A 30-second clock between one batter and the next. It only goes on once the hitter is done with his at-bat. I don't recall reading that in any memos.
No, I've never seen it in any other ballpark. Maybe it just wasn't as conspicuous out there next to the Death Star, but I haven't seen it anywhere else.
Yeah, it counts down as soon as the batter is done with his AB from 30. And I guess the next guy has to be in there by then. But that's not something we were made aware of in the offseason. Oh, 0-2 on Tomas. He's got Owings at second and Goldie at first.
Talked about the small moral victory getting into the Dodger bullpen here in game 1 of a 4-game series. It'd be even more of a moral victory if you could force them to get Kenley Jansen up in the bullpen.
3 more games left to play in this set after tonight. Saturday, Sunday, Monday we're here. Now Asmani putting up a fight down 0-2. Fastball, fastball, fastball from Pedro Baez. Dodgers off to a 5-5 start on the year. 2 games behind the division leading Diamondbacks. LA just returned home after a 2-4 road trip through Colorado and Chicago. Tomas strikes out. 2 down.
The command is not one of Baez's strong points. He just rears back and throws it as hard as he can, but that's a good location for that upper 90s fastball when you can elevate it to a guy that chases a lot of high fastballs.
Brandon Drury 0 for 3. Diamondbacks live post-game show right after our ball game. Jody Jackson standing by. She'll have reaction from inside the D-backs clubhouse. We'll hear from Torey Lovullo and some of the players. Pre-game show tomorrow is at 5:30 on Fox Sports Arizona. 6:10 first pitch, game 2 of the 4-game set. Patrick Corbin up against Kenta Maeda. Now the D-backs won just twice in 9 games in this ballpark last year. Their first visit this season, all about Clayton Kershaw. Baez trying to close out a 7-1 lead with 2 outs in the ninth and get Kershaw the win. It will be his second this year. The middle, but right to Forsythe, and that's the ball game. Clayton Kershaw was outstanding. Diamondbacks drop it 7-1, and since the start of the 2014 season, Arizona against the Dodgers just 17-41.
Well, this was all about Clayton Kershaw tonight. You knew going in it was going to be a battle against one of the best in the game, and he was on top of his game tonight, had everything working well. And that's what's going to happen when you face an ace.
Diamondbacks 1 run on 4 hits. Dodgers 7 runs on 13 hits. And Kershaw was simply outstanding. At one point, he retired 10 straight. Then later in the ball game, set down a dozen in a row. And he finished the game with 1 walk and 8 strikeouts. Diamondback Live, presented by CenturyLink, is next. 7-1 the final here. Dodgers take the opener